Oh, hey you guys, what's up? Welcome back to more esports talk. Whenever we talk about TSM, it seems to be typically aimed at trying to hate on the organization. I'm going to explain to you guys the situation, and we'll see where you all fall. That being a League of Legends figure and assistant coach for Immortals, now calling TSM Leena a liar of a tweet that stems back a few days, which I'll read out to you, and I would expect maybe some responses. Leena has certainly responded to this and been backed up by at least one figure out there. I would be interested to see if Immortals will also respond on this, with one of their assistant coaches calling a separate organization high up person like Leena a liar. It's getting heated, and the offseason is just beginning. You guys should check out Travis Gafford and Jacob Wolf. We'll be talking about them in the back half of today's video. But the Leena tweet that sparked all of this was something I didn't really see as controversial, as all she wanted to make sure on Twitter was, it said, "It's honestly harder to import players when the US is in this state. Can you imagine how parents feel when their young adult son wants to move to the US to play pro League of Legends and there's surging COVID, political unrest, etc. I really hope we can come together as a country and do better." And apparently that sparked some anger in assistant coach for Immortals, that being Eclipse or Paul Desi. I apologize on the pronunciation of that last name, as apparently in a DM to somebody, he had called Leena a liar as to when she came forward about this, which the tweet does make sense, right? If you guys have been following the US election, which has now concluded, it was pretty heated. There was riots and unrest even leading up to that. And of course, COVID and pandemic has probably affected the US in more of a negative way as the way we have handled this as compared to other regions in other countries. I'm sure, I mean, all my European friends that I've met online have made sure to make fun of us for that. So her tweet did make sense. And apparently in these DMs that have now been released, well, Eclipse thinks that Leena was lying. As he stated, Leena has lied about why TSM is having trouble importing, by the way. The org has burnt so many bridges with talent that it's now affecting them. I'll be very open and say in zero talks with a single European player did any state fear of COVID, public unrest, etc. stopping them from deciding. Leena lying that this is reason or fears of visas because Riot is working with the US government on visas. TSM is effed due to their own crappy behavior in the past, finally catching up to them. Feel free to tweet most of this. So you got Leena coming out and saying importing players, getting players to join TSM, of course, with Bjergsen's retirement into the coaching role. Yes, there is a big void to fill on this roster if they want to make additional changes as well. She's making it clear that importing players over to North America might be difficult given the unrest here in the US. Now, we actually have someone else out there, that being Eclipse, saying she is lying, and it's all the burnt bridges they have had in their past now finally catching up to them, and that's the reason why they can't close deals and actually have players, land jobs or actually want to join TSM. Players want to come to North America, according to him, but maybe just don't want to play for TSM given their past instances. It's actually veteran EU now coming back to actually back up Leena on this and say, no, that's not what he has heard. He has heard plenty of players will only consider a few North American teams, Cloud9, Team Liquid, and yeah, TSM is also on that list, calling the theory by Immortals assistant coach complete crap. As he said, I've talked to a lot of potential EU to North American imports this offseason, and every single one of them has said the same thing. They would only consider one of Team Liquid, Cloud9, and yes, TSM. So this is just BS as far as I can tell. So I'll leave it at that for all of you guys to be open-ended. I understand that TSM, and we have covered a lot of these instances, have maybe said some things that maybe make you a bit wary about their situations. When it comes to this one, though, I don't know where I lean. I certainly lean maybe towards Leena's side, but what do you guys think about this one? Other news out there brought to us by Jacob Wolf, as well as Travis Gafford last night. This is going to be pretty shocking and probably expect some updates very soon. That being the potential of where a guy like G2 Perkz might end up. Now, there have been plenty of trolls and banter back on Twitter, potentially leaning towards a team like Cloud9, as to which Travis Gafford himself has said it's a high probability, but not confirmed. He thinks Perkz, could likely end up on Cloud9, which in itself is very, very shocking.
People tell me that they have heard Perkz is joining C9 and that is going to happen. Now, the reason why I'm going to tell you that I'm 90% sure he's going to C9 rather than 100% is because there have been a lot, like more than anything, I've just heard like Perkz is doing this, Perkz is doing that, Perkz is doing. So I don't know if there's just a lot of information out there because things keep changing or because people are fabricating stuff or whatever, but I just am a little nervous to say with 100% confidence that this is occurring, even though I do have two sources telling me it, just because I've heard a lot of other things from a lot of other places. So I think it's kind of vague, and it does seem like there's a lot of stuff changing frequently. Most recently, by the way, I did also hear that G2 was asking for a $2.5 million buyout from him. Again, from a single source, so take it what you will. All this stuff I say, take with a grain of salt.
And then Jacob Wolf coming out and saying that, yes, Perkz is actually talking to several LCS orgs and Cloud9 being on that list. But, of course, that's a lot of top dogs on there. If you guys want to watch Travis's full video and, of course, check out Jacob Wolf, they got a lot more insight on this one. But it could be very crazy as Jacob Wolf did follow up. Supposedly, Perkz' buyout for G2 is just shy of $5 million. If any organization pays anywhere near that, could marking him as one of the highest buyouts and one of the currently most highly valuable players in esports right now, if that buyout does get paid. And just to think about that, a $5 million figure just to get that person on your team, and then you got to pay him a nice chunk of salary. If you're going to take a risk right now on a guy like Perkz, which, yes, North America could really need. Could be a very spicy year for North America. Is that spice worth that many millions? That's an organizational choice that Cloud9 might be making, but other organizations could be in the running for as well. It's just crazy to see League of Legends salaries as well as these buyout amounts compared to other esports. These are some shocking figures out there. We will see if Cloud9 Perkz is the move. We will see if Perkz even can leave G2 and if someone is willing to pay that high price to get him to North America. What do you guys think? As per usual, hey, what are you doing? Take a sip for me, all right? Stay hydrated. Drink some water. Drink some ca. I'll catch you guys back here sometime soon. Take care.